So the markets are actually holding where they are right now. Monday's action had a slight little down day. So let me actually show you what I see on the charts. Let's get straight into it. Do not place a trade based on what you're seeing in this video today, because trading is risky and it can cause substantial financial loss. There are so many areas you need to become good at to become a good trader. Emotional mastery, chart reading, trading systems, money and trade management. So this video is just educational only to help you become a much better trader. Alright, so let me actually blow this up, this chart, and let me show you what I see. Actually, let me just change this chart into, say, a candlestick so we can actually see what show you what I'm seeing here. So the first thing I do see, guys, is I can see that, let me let me just blow this chart up instead, and I'll make this chart here a candlestick, because I just want to show you guys a few things. And let's just do that there. All right, cool. So actually take that off. So first thing we can see is that the Russell obviously continued up. We had this big spike up because of Janet Allen, and now we're getting into this area of resistance. Now remember, guys, the whole time, if I look at that weekly chart and bring up the weekly chart here, look at this here. It's making lower highs and lower lows, and we're getting into that area of resistance where we are right now on the Russell chart. So so you can see that's what's happened through there. So, but on the daily chart, what do we see? We see almost a 1% down day. For you guys that said I was wrong yesterday. By the way, yeah, so anyway, so we had almost a 1% down day on the Russell overall, totally almost engulfing the bar before with the jobs announcement last Friday, and that had a 0.8% down day closing below, and it actually closed below basically the last 3 days of action on the Russell, as you can see there. So, but you can see that we're still in this overall channel through the top here. And as I said before, if I look at the weekly chart, this whole area is actually indeed an area of resistance where the Russell is. And also we can see it's at the top of this channel through here on the daily chart, plus this band through here is a resistance. So it's at an area of resistance. You can see how it's struggling where we are right now. Now, if I bring up, say, an hourly chart, you can see how the hourly chart once again has been hitting it, and now backing off. So for me, guys, I actually do expect to see some more downside tomorrow. So I don't expect to crash. I don't expect a big pullback. I do expect to see some downside tomorrow, especially on the Russell. Let's have a look at the Dow Jones. The Dow Jones, pretty much a nothing day with the Dow Jones, but you can see with the Dow Jones again, as soon as it closed below this resistance line here, let me bring up my trend line drawing tools here. Let me go to the line chart, line. As soon as we actually closed below this trend line, which was the market moving higher, we've just basically been going sideways. You can see the last sort of couple of weeks, we're just slowly crawling up. And once again, yeah, we definitely are rejecting out these levels through here, which is actually these major resistance levels 3 times it up through there. And also we have this resistance level up the top here. So we can see that's what's happening on the Dow Jones. And if we go to the hourly chart as well too, this is the hourly chart. That's the 6-day chart actually. The hourly chart, you can see with the hourly chart once again hits resistance, come back down, had the big push up onto Friday, and now we're having a slight little pullback as well too, going into the close. So I'm seeing that on the Dow Jones as well too. So I actually am expecting a small little pullback, maybe into the close. We're actually struggling around a little bit here, so maybe a small little pullback through here, or maybe just a pretty much nothing day like it was today on the Dow Jones. And I'll get to in a minute of what I actually see after tomorrow as well. S&P 500, same thing as well too. Hitting the resistance. We actually struggle at this resistance as well too. And once again, guys, we're definitely at this area where we're at right now. Now, this top area through here, that whole area through there, from there, even up to, we have that area, and then we have that area through there. That area up through there is indeed an area of resistance, and then obviously we have the major high points, which is definitely up through there as well too. And then obviously that's the high. This is the high up there. So we can see that this area through here, the market's actually pausing. It's been going up through here. Now, I do expect, as I said before, and I've been saying this for the last couple of weeks, that ever since this move to the high side was much more extended than I did see. But I can see this market's moving up and it's slowly crawling up. At some point, we will get a pullback through here, pullback breakdown through here, and when it breaks this trend line, that's when the ultimate pullback will happen. So what I'm seeing here, guys, is on this market update is I'm seeing that the market's pausing through there and it's struggling. So I'm expecting maybe a little bit of a pullback, maybe even a small little pullback down towards this channel through here, and then you can see that through there, and then also the Nasdaq basically pretty much a nothing day as well on the markets. And in fact, if I just draw trend line, so from there to there, no, not from there to there, so we go from this point through here. So I'm just drawing a trend line, so we're seeing where we're at. So we definitely are at through there, but we also definitely have an overall channel formation here on the Nasdaq as well too. So Nasdaq's a lot more harder. If I go to the weekly chart, we can definitely see on the weekly chart that we've had this. If we look at these low points through here, that's where the Nasdaq, and you can see the last couple of times the weekly chart has actually paused it through there. So we're actually at that level where we're at right now, and that's the reason why we're getting a little bit of a pause. And so I'm expecting maybe a little bit of a down day, a little bit of a pullback on that day. And then maybe we're going to have one last push to the high side. Looking at all that, especially like the Dow Jones and stuff like that. Dow Jones, maybe another little push to the high side, maybe get a little pullback, and then maybe another little push back up to the high side. And the reason why I say that is because if I go to my go to the news calendar, we can actually see in a couple of days time frame that we actually have the FOMC minutes. So you can see the FOMC minutes is released here on Wednesday. So I'm expecting Wednesday. So maybe with the minutes, Janet Yellen she is going to continue to push this market up, because every time there's an announcement come out and stuff like that, she continues to push it up and continue to push it up. And plus we've got some jobless claims on Thursday as well too. So we will see what happens, but maybe a small little pullback, and then maybe another push to the high side, moving forward into the afternoon. So we're definitely not out of the woodworks yet, meaning the pullback has not started yet. We need to get below this 2050 line before we see a decent pullback. We definitely are struggling. As you can see, the last 4 days we haven't really gone anywhere. I did expect to see the market pull back, and we did get that a little bit, especially on the Russell. As I was saying before, the Russell gave us almost a 1% down day. So the Russell's definitely the weakest out of the whole lot, followed by the Nasdaq, and then the S&P, Dow Jones are after that as well too. So overall, guys, I expect to see probably a pullback day tonight, moving into the FOMC announcement, and then who knows what's going to happen after that. Now, again, a pullback day just simply means like it's a pullback day, maybe even down to this trend line through here. So, which is not a big move overall, guys. And we're talking like maybe a 2 to 3% down day on the Russell, or even maybe just a 1 or 2% small little pullback through here. So maybe that's what we're going to get, a small little pullback, and then we'll see what actually happens on the FOMC announcements on Wednesday. But who knows what's going to happen now, guys? But I am showing you right now, especially on all the indices. We'll look on the weekly chart here. This is the weekly chart. The Russell is in that major area of resistance on that weekly chart now. It's actually been holding there, as you can see on the daily chart, for quite some time. Looking on the weekly chart of the Dow Jones as well too, we're in that area. So, but the Dow Jones may still have a little bit more room to get to these maximum high points up through here, which we actually may see a little bit more. That's only about a 0.5%, or where it is right now. It's maybe a 1% to the high side till we get to this ultimate resistance level. That's what I'm saying, that we may actually get up to there before we start seeing a decent pullback. S&P 500, same thing as well too. S&P 500, we're getting into these major areas of resistance. We're slowly crawling up. And guys, trust me, mark my words, this is a weak sign. This is a weak sign. When the market runs up like that, then slowly crawls up, you watch soon we're going to start seeing that pullback, and it's going to happen much quicker than you think. And then obviously also the Nasdaq as well. The Nasdaq, we're at that resistance level. Once again, you can see the last basically week has been sideways. A lot of sideways action, and then up, and then sideways action and up. Not much going on there. So overall, guys, I do see, as I said before, when the market starts to do this sort of stuff, and if I take my trend lines off, guys, and I look at this market and I look at this chart through here, the S&P 500 has had a vertical move to the high side, and is slowly crawling up. It hasn't even been a strong move up. Like what it hasn't been a strong move up. What we've had is just we might have had like a couple of nice bars up there here, but we had a down bar, up bar, sideways, a couple up bars, lots of sideways, a couple up bar, sideways. It's just slowly crawling up. And you watch, guys, something out of the woodworks is going to happen, and we're gonna get hammered. But for now, guys, if nothing happens with the news announcement, we do have nothing much with the news announcement, international trade. And and we can see that. Same with the Dow Jones as well too, guys. If I squeeze my chart up once again, I can see this vertical move to the high side. That to me, guys, we're not even getting little pullbacks. You know what I mean? Like we're not even getting like maybe like a pullback through. We're not running up through here, and then maybe a little pullback, and then getting up, and then maybe another little pullback, and then we're getting up here, maybe there's some pullback, and then we're getting up like that and pullback. You know what we're doing is we're going up, little sideways movement, going up, little sideways movement, going up, little pullback, and then going up again. Like you can see how steep that angle is. So that's what I'm saying, guys. Overall, we will get that pullback. Now I know I've been calling for that pullback, but the more this goes on, the more it's going to happen. So, and yeah, guys, you know what? I did think that a lot of resistance lines would have held, especially these areas through here on the Dow Jones around the 17,000 or above the 17,000, and it hasn't. It's now at these resistance levels now, and it's actually really extended up to the high side. And so I am expecting a pullback soon. But for the short term, guys, we may get for the short term. I'm expecting a little pullback for tomorrow. And then if Gemma Allen wants to have one last little push on the FOMC minutes, depends on what she says, we may get another last little push to the high side, and then after that, moving into late this week into next week, then I see this move on the downside happening, and I do see the market is likely to start moving. Then the move might even start with the FOMC minutes. Janet Yellen might say something that we just don't like, and then they just say, screw that, we're out of here. Straight down we go. So that's what I think is going to happen, guys. Little pullback, a push into the FOMC minutes, because that's what seems to happen when she speaks, or the FOMC minutes, and then so we will see what happens overall, guys. But just mark my words, guys. Okay, mark my words. I may have been wrong with my timing, but the overall pattern on this, you just can not deny. Once again, guys, I go to my weekly charts and I show you this on my weekly charts. Right now we can see what's happening through here, and it's definitely something that, especially Russell, the Dow Jones there, we've got the S&P there as well too. S&P has made a major lower trough, and so mark my words, guys, if it fails here and starts to break down, then I think we're getting ready for another big low in the markets, because you can see the flow, right? The flow is actually happening with the markets. Now, guys, if we do start to break above this 2,100 level, and we start to break above that, then this whole move has completely changed. The whole move has completely changed. Now, not every trader, no trader, whether a fantastic trader can pick bottoms and tops. So, but what we can do, we can go and we can flow with the market, and as we can see, we can actually start to see we're creating now lower peaks, and this actually still could be another lower peak heading down to that resistance level through there, and it's now at that point right now. If we do start to falter through here and then start to pull back, we're likely to start to see this sort of action. Not like that, but we're likely to start seeing a pullback with the market. Again, guys, when I'm talking about bearishness, I'm talking about that the overall market is actually bearish. If I go to the Russell as well too, as I was saying with the Russell, right? If you look at the Russell, the reason why I'm so bearish on the Russell is because it, once again, is if you create like a bit of a bit of a head and shoulder formation here. It broke down. It's now come back up. We're now getting this. We've got these strong buys. We've also got these weaker buys through here, guys. We're actually coming into this area of resistance through here as well too. So the Russell might have a little bit more upside on the short term before it gets to the resistance level, and then we start to see a pullback. But the Russell is now showing a lot of weakness as well too. We're getting this overall resistance level on the Russell as well too. We've already started the flow down, creating lower peaks, lower troughs, majorly on the longer term charts, guys. And as we can see also on the Nasdaq. Now the Nasdaq actually bounced off this long-term trend line. Let me actually delete that off for a minute, and let me just delete that. Let me just delete this for a minute here, and I just look at the peaks and troughs overall. We can see that we're actually at a small little resistance level, not a long-term resistance level, at a small little resistance level that got that long-term trend line going down through there. And same thing with this, guys. Looking at the Russell, the Nasdaq overall, we came down through here. We came back up, created a lower peak, a lower peak. It's made a slight little lower trough, and now we're running up in this resistance level. So, and overall, guys, you can see how that's happened through there. And now we're starting to, and now if we do falter through here and false through here like that, we may get a little up move like that, and then suddenly I do believe we're likely to start seeing some acceleration on the downside. But for the short term, guys, now what I'm talking about here is the weekly charts. That takes weeks to form out, all right? It may take another 2 or 3 weeks for that to start to happen. I don't know, all right? But what I do know is by looking at the moves, and by looking at these moves, we are starting to definitely break down overall on these moves, and we are definitely starting to, we're definitely starting to start to see so a lot of weakness in this market overall. The bigger picture here, okay, the big picture for me is saying we're likely to get some downside action, and it's this move to the high side was a lot more extended than I thought. Yes, I was wrong. I was calling bearishness for quite some time, and this move has been a lot more extended to the high side. But mark my words, guys, I have been bearish because the longer term charts have been bearish. That's just it. And even though this market's continued to run up slightly to the high side, we are still overall in a bear move. And we're actually getting into these major areas now where everyone is freaking out because they've been going short all the way up because they're day trading. I don't day trade. I have been going short all the way up, yeah. But I'm in it for this year. You know what I mean? So yeah, I am loaded up with shorts right now. I have got put options on the market, and yes, the market has continued to go against me a little bit, just a little bit, by the way, not too much. And then so yes, I am in that position. But guys, my trades are long term. I don't try to get in and get out within that day. That's not what I'm all about. So and same with the Dow Jones as well too, and same with the Russell as well too. So as I said before, guys, we are definitely at these areas right now, and a move to the downside is likely to happen, and then maybe that's when we start to get some acceleration to the downside. So there we go, guys. I hope you understand right now. Short term, a little bit of a pullback, maybe, and then maybe when the FOMC minutes comes out, it has one last little push to the high side, and maybe that's where we start getting into the Russell in this area here. Maybe that's when we start getting up to this area here on the Dow Jones, and then maybe this last little resistance up the top here as well too on the S&P, and then maybe as well too, guys, the Nasdaq maybe has a little run to the high side as well too, and then starts the overall falter to the downside. So we will see what happens, guys, but that's my analysis. Short term, a little bit of a pullback, and then maybe a little push to the high side when the FOMC announcement comes out. But I think that FOMC minutes is really going to start after that. After the FOMC minutes, late this week, early next week, that's when I believe the pullback is likely to start to happen. Hey, it's John Howell here, and thanks so much for watching my video. You see, I'm putting out daily videos and education on helping you learning the art of successful trading. So click on the subscribe button to keep up to date with every video I do. Also, check out my story video, $250,000 in debt, cancer, overweight, family passing away, lived on the streets, and more, and how I overcome it and now thriving through my life. This is here to motivate you, so click on that image to watch my video. And lastly, if you're struggling with your trading, then you need to see my latest webinar where I'm sharing with you an amazing strategy that allows you to generate an income without getting the direction right. So click on that image on this page to register for my next free webinar. This is John Howell here. Remember, success can be yours if you go claim it. So step up, take massive action, and face your fears. today.